Welcome back to Grassroots Media, and welcome to this year's edition of the Terry Hoese Show, where we cover everything on the hardwood with the South Greene Rebel basketball team. As always, I'm sitting here with head coach Terry Hoese. Coach, how we doing?
Good. It's good to be back.
We're back. Third year in a row. Back in the office, back at the beautiful round table here with the beautiful Babe Ruth quote behind us. Coach, how you been in the off season?
We had a good off season. Had a good summer, and of course, you come in the off season, half your kids aren't here. They're playing football or doing other things. So sometimes it makes it hard, but it's been a good off season.
Take us through your summer camps a little bit. I know you traveled a little bit to go. I know we spoke about this a little bit last week too. You traveled out of state for a camp this year. Take me through some of those games and take me through some of those bright spots throughout the summer.
Well, we lost 5 seniors last year, so didn't really know how things would go this summer. I knew I was returning some kids that had a lot of playing experience, but we started out here in town, some local scrimmages, and performed really well. Played some good teams. We beat Science Hill. We beat Knox Halls. Some teams that we really have never really been able to compete with, even in years past. But come out and played really well this summer. Went over to UNC Asheville. First day at UNC Asheville, we got our eyes awakened. We got beat 30 by Greer, South Carolina. But after that, they settled in, didn't lose another game over there. So we had a really good summer. And, of course, coming in from summer to now, I've got some guys banged up from football season. So I've got some guys that really hadn't even practiced yet that we're going to rely on. So it may be a slow start right here, but we're looking forward to it.
So you have those 5 that you talked about graduating. You graduated a lot of height, but you're bringing back a lot of height too. I know that was something last year that you had talked about, last year's team being quite possibly the tallest team that you've had, but you're bringing back a lot of the same height this year too, because you're losing Hayden Birdwell and Andrew Thornburg, who were both hovering around that 6'5" range. You're bumping Caden Filler's minutes up, who is around that same height, and then Cooper Kelly took a huge growth spurt this summer too.
Cooper's about 6'3", close to maybe 6'4" right now. You look at him side TJ, and there's not a whole lot of difference.
Yeah. And then you've got Jace too, who we know is around that same 6'5" frame too. Take us through that starting lineup and some of those bench roles too, because we know that you'll have a few coming back that played a lot of minutes last year in TJ, Jace, Cooper, and Woody. Take us through some of the others that you expect to get minutes this season.
Well, those are the guys that are going to be the anchor. But I've also got Will Arwood, who's a sophomore, hovers around that 6'1" range. He can play some post, and he can also play the wing. Charlie Lane had a really good summer. A little sophomore, is about 5'10", 5'11", plays really good point guard, gets after it, plays hard. Lucas Couch is about 6'3", 6'4". Lucas right now is out with a meniscus tear in his knee, looking to get him back here in a couple weeks hopefully. But he played a lot of minutes this summer and had a really good summer as well. And right now, pretty much we played 8 all summer. I have moved a couple of kids up. Gavin Dyer's a freshman I've moved up. Zach Mason is a sophomore I moved up, but those guys are in the 5'10", 5'11" range, somewhere around in there. And we also moved up Noah Wright, who's a freshman, and Noah's about 6'1" or so. He's from the Wright clan. I coached all 4 of those boys throughout their career here at South Greene, and he's one of their kids. So I've got some good basketball lineage, and we've got good heights. Just not as deep this year as what we were last year. Last year, I felt like I could put 10 kids out there at any point. And this year, we're probably going to play 7 or 8 kids.
And I know you've got that starting lineup that we kind of mentioned right at the beginning of that question with TJ, Jace, Cooper, and Woody. Take us through them. Take us through what you expect out of them this year and how their summers went.
Cooper is playing really well. He shoots the ball extremely well, and I think he surprised some people last year toward the end of the season. He won us a bunch of basketball games late. But he had a really good season. He's added some stuff to his game. He's not just a shooter anymore. He's really worked hard and can get to the bucket. He's already had a couple college offers. Proud of Cooper. You bring in Woody. Woody struggled from the outside a little bit last year, and he was really hard on himself. But he had a really good summer. He shot the ball well. He's turned in more of a all-around player, what I would consider. He rebounds well. He's not real big. He's about 6'1", maybe 6'2", but he rebounds well. He plays bigger than what he is. He shoots it well. He can handle the basketball, and he's kind of, he can be the glue. He does a lot of things for the team. Jace has just given me what I expected out of Jace. 6'5" point guard. That doesn't come around all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He handles the ball really well. He can shoot the ball. And if I had to say right now that I was looking for a leader, I'd say Jace Roderick would be my leader.
He's had the experience already too, being a 3-year starter in a way.
And TJ, 6'5", phenomenal athlete, probably hands down one of the best athletes, just pure athletes that I've ever had the opportunity to coach. He did get to where he could shoot the basketball a little bit. Been on him about working on his shot. Got to the point last year where people just get off of him because he's not a bad shooter. He wasn't a bad shooter last year, but he wasn't consistent. And he's gotten a lot more consistent. We'll see coming out of this injury from football. Hopefully he can get back in that groove the way he was playing this summer. But I guess the biggest surprise for us right now is Caden Fillers, who will fill that fifth spot. Caden shot up and thinned down. He's a good 6'5" right now. He's strong, plays the post. He's a true post player, but he can also step out and shoot the three. And we like to run a lot of open post stuff here, so he gets in those positions where he gets the opportunity to shoot it, and he also gets in those positions where he's got the opportunity to go to the block. So I'm looking for really good things out of Caden.
Okay, my favorite play last year was that lob play to Hayden Birdwell. Hayden graduated. You don't have him anymore. Can we expect to see that same lob play a little bit this year?
Absolutely.
You can plead the fifth if you want.
I've got 3 guys now that can go cram it. DJ gets out of the gym. Like I said, maybe the best athlete I've ever coached. He can stick his elbows up there. But Jason and Woody, excuse me, not Woody. Sorry, Woody. you're like Coach Hoese. You're grounded. Jace and Cooper Kelly are way up above the rim right now. They can go both two-hand cram it. So I hope we can bring some excitement to the gym.
TJ's dunks are they're the exciting ones that you don't expect because, like you said, he jumps out of the gym where he can get in the low post and just jump up and flush it.
He's quick. He
Yes.
gets off the floor quick.
The other two you would probably expect to see it in a fast break motion or like that on a backdoor lob where you can kind of see it for a second or two before it happens. TJ, I think the first in-game dunk I seen him have last year was, ironically, at the Big H Barbecue Christmas Bash against West Greene when he got it in the low post on a fast break and just jumped up and dunked it. You don't expect to see that sometimes out of him because he's explosive enough to where it can happen at any time.
Absolutely, and he likes it.
Oh, yeah, everybody does.
That's his focus. He wants to go hammer it, and I've never seen it's high school basketball. Everybody gets jacked up for that stuff. That's an everyday thing in college basketball. It's not even special. But when he goes and does it, it kicks us into another gear.
So the girls got their season underway last night. You get your season underway tomorrow night. We're filming this on Wednesday, so got some girls action on Tuesday. You'll start yours on Thursday, and then have a couple games on Saturday too. We'll preview that in just a second though, but we need to get a break in first. So we'll be right back after these messages here on Grassroots Media.
Pizza, pancakes, or donuts. The Davy Crockett Travel Center in Baileyton has the cure for all your cravings. While you're there, shop our general store for souvenirs, gifts, and cellular accessories. In a hurry, grab a cold drink and a hot dog to go. Check us out on Facebook and come to Baileyton.
At Corner Pond, the friendly and knowledgeable staff has the experience necessary to help you out regardless the need. Have an item of value you'd like to pawn or sell? Corner Pond can help. They pawn numerous items of value, including firearms, tools, ammunition, silver, coins, and much more. When you walk through their doors, you'll find well-stocked shelves full of electronics, gaming systems, fishing and hunting equipment, car audio and accessories. And don't forget about the room full of guitars and basses and amplifiers, or their outside lawn and garden equipment. Corner Pond is a case knife dealer and carries numerous used knives as well. Stop by and let the friendly staff at Corner Pond help you today. At 432 East Bernard Avenue, Greenville, Tennessee.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Terry Hoese Show, where we cover everything on the hardwood with the South Greene Rebel basketball team. As always, I'm sitting here with head coach Terry Hoese. So we talked about the summer recap a little bit. You took us through the roster this year. Take us through the opponents that you see coming up soon. I know Thursday night you've got a game, and I know Saturday night you've got two when you travel to play Sullivan East and Tennessee High. Take us through all three of those games that you've got coming up on your schedule.
Play Cosby tomorrow night, 6:30 here at South Greene. And Cosby is always very competitive in that single A league down there. We scrimmaged them this summer. I watched a little game film from them from last night. They beat Claiborne last night by 20. They're going to be scrappy coming in here. We'll have to play really well just to be in the game. And then, of course, we get to go up and play Tennessee High and Sullivan East back-to-back, 9 a.m. and 11:30 Saturday morning. And I saw last night where Tennessee High had beaten North Greene, which was impressive. And Sullivan East, I don't know that they lost a kid. They've just reloaded from last year. So 3 really good competitive games coming up that we'll have to play really well just to stay in the games.
And I know Sullivan East is one of those that you talked about not reloading any. You played them last year, too.
Yes.
Do you expect some of those same kids to have some of that same production when you go and play them this year?
Absolutely. They shoot it really well. They play hard. And, it's kind of the same style every year. You know what to expect when you go. They're going to be up full court pressing you the whole time and trapping here and there and just trying to take you out of what you do. And they do a really good job at it, and they shoot the ball so well. So I expect them to be very good.
What time you got to wake up and leave Saturday morning?
Well, we actually have an 8 o'clock JV game at Viking Hall.
Oh, my goodness.
We'll leave here about 6:15.
Wow, that's a very early morning. You won't be staying out watching any football on Friday night this week. You got an early JV game, then a varsity game, followed by another varsity game. Do you have to travel in between those, or is it at one central location?
We roll over to Sullivan East for 11:30 game, but it's only like a 10-minute drive.
Yeah, it's not too bad. You got Cosby coming in here on Thursday night, too. I know the girls are hosting 2 games that night, too, against Cosby and Cloudland. How fun is it to always host one of those early season, I guess, play days or Hall of Fame classics at the beginning of the year?
It's nice to have a game here, kind of get your kids a little bit of comfort, but it's also very expensive. We lost money last night in our first Hall of Champions game. We still had to pay the officials. You still have to pay cleanup and all those expenses if you were having a regular game. If you do make money, it goes to TSAA. So not against that by any means. They give us a couple extra games to be able to do that to help them out. So, but it's a lot easier to go on the road. You don't have to worry about the financial side of it. But it's nice to be able to play at home. You kids are comfortable. We've practiced here for a couple weeks, so hopefully we come out tomorrow night and we put on a good show for everybody.
Last thing I'll cover, too, we'll dabble a little bit more into your schedule next week a little bit because we'll come in here kind of in the middle of things. But next week we've got Thanksgiving break.
Yep.
You know what that means. You're always in the Hardee's Classic.
Classic.
Going in there once again this year. Got some stiff competition.
Yep.
Take us through what you expect in your side of the bracket coming up next week.
We open up with Providence Academy, and I know they're coached by George Pitts right now, and I know we can expect them to come in prepared, ready to go. And we have had the pleasure of scrimmaging those guys last Saturday. And, they play hard. They're after it. And I know he'll make some adjustments. They filmed the game. They'll make some adjustments to try to fix some things against us, too. So whatever happens there, you get the winner or loser of North Greene and Daniel Boone. Both of those are going to be really good games. And, of course, that other bracket was just loaded. You've got Crockett's, you've got Chucky Doak. And honestly, I can't remember who the other 2 teams are that are in Unicoi County, yes, and Happy Valley. So, it's a loaded tournament. You try to survive.
Yeah.
Win by 1, win by 20, whatever you got to do. But they're all going to be tough games.
Crockett's one of those places, I think we joked about it last year, how it was your home away from home. Because you got the home and away series with Crockett. Yeah. You had the Hardee's Classic last year. And then you had the district and regional tournaments down there at Crockett.
It was nice.
So you probably played every bit of half a dozen games there last year. Because how many do you play in the Hardee's Classic? Regardless, you get 3, I think.
3 games.
And you got the one down there. And then districts, you had Johnson County, Chucky Doak. And then regionals, you had Gatlinburg Pittman, that's right. So you had 7 games at Crockett last year. How many did you have at home? Probably
11, I think.
11. There's no way you almost had as many games at Crockett as at South Greene.
Sure did.
That's crazy.
You have 10 home games in a regular season if you play 2 tournaments. So I know we played the first round of the region here, so we wound up with 11 games here.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yep.
That really was your home away from home last year, and it could potentially be again this year with the Hardee's Classic, and you still got a home and away with them on the schedule too. But I think that's all we've got this week. It's the most exciting time of the year for you.
It is.
Basketball season's rolling around finally. It always goes. The off season goes by quick, but as we mentioned right before this, The season does, but it also doesn't. Before you know it, it's over. But it's a long season.
It's a long season. A lot of things can happen, and but this is what I enjoy. This is my. I won't say this is my life. I'm not to that point. Love my family. My family loves this right here too. So it's an exciting time for us, and they like it. They support it, and see what happens.
Tomorrow night we'll be filling up the gym here in South Greene.
I hope so.
Got Cosby and Cloudland coming in. Girls got 2 games. You got 1 game.
Yeah.
But until next time, Coach.
Thank you, Tyler.
Appreciate you once again. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Terry Hoese Show. Look forward to seeing you next time here on Grassroots Media.